Igniting, inspiring, and evoking the fire within.
And through them, I got the opportunity to come to Nashville after winning Entertainer of the Year, Vocalist of the Year, and Dancer of the Year for clogging as well.
In a covered wagon, he crossed the Great Divide on his way to Kansas with 2 more days to ride.
One of my bucket list things to ever do is to take an American muscle car or anything of that sort and go from one end of Route 66 to the other. When I see snow-covered mountain suns or a rainbow, yellow, red, and blue.
You're listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Fox Beyer.
Hello and welcome to episode 36 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Today, a person of influence, a talk show host, and an international best-selling author of magical money manifestations. She is known for her ability to get people unstuck and open pathways that were closed prior. People, please meet Luci McMonagle. Luci, how are you today?
I'm doing fabulous, Fox.
You always come with these words, and whenever you send me an email or you're responding to an email or a phone call, it ends with not just have a good day. Words like fabulous and abundant are always part of your vocabulary. Has it always been that way for you?
No, it has not always been that way for me.
So,
but it is now.
Yes, I mean, we've known each other for over 2 years now, and just that's how I see you. Just a very relentlessly positive person.
Yes, absolutely. I am positive by choice, and I believe that when we choose to look at the bright side of life, when we choose to look at our blessings and focus more on them, not that we don't acknowledge the hard times and the difficulties and the upsets and the unexpected oopsies and stuff, not that we don't acknowledge them and work through them, but it's easier for us to work through them when we're looking at having a solution-based premise in our belief system and in our attitude.
You see, I mean, you have a lot of tact with everything you do. It's measured, and I like that about you. When I just introduced you, you mentioned that you open pathways that were unstuck prior. So my first formal question of this interview and this podcast is, Luci, what are these pathways and why most often are they closed?
So a lot of the pathways are people believing that they've just missed the opportunity. If they didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. If they, if only they would have, it's these little tiny things that creates wedges between us and what we want. And from my long 20 plus years of working with individuals on getting unstuck, I've discovered one main common piece that this all creates. And it's from our childhood, where we were told something, we heard something, or we seen something, and we believed it to be true about ourselves. And at that point, we started putting these little cute blinders on that prevented us from being able to be more, do more, have more, be seen, have visibility. So it's a mindset that we picked up that most of the time is not even ours.
It's interesting, and I like the way that you sort of phrase that. I mean, just from me growing up, it's not I remember often what people said to me, and maybe a little bit less than of what they did. Words have such an impact, and you've really dedicated to me, your life to changing that, making people really just believe in themselves.
Yes, yes, I have dedicated my life to this because I understood that in my 20s that your words matter, that what you say really matters, and what's really even more important is what you believe matters even more, because that will dictate whether you are successful or not, and it'll dictate whether or not you believe you can or you can't.
Words do matter. Right. Yeah, I mean, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are correct. And you do it in a very unique way. Two platforms that you use to me for this are the Wealthy Wednesday show, which I was lucky enough to be a guest on this past May, and your best-selling book, Magical Money Manifestations. And Luci, you may have already answered the question, but I'm going to ask it again. What do you hope to achieve through these two platforms, meaning the Wealthy Wednesday show and your book, Magical Money Manifestations?
What my true hope that I will achieve is that I will impact individuals that have a bigger dream, that want to make this world a better place, however that looks to them. And if these two devices that I use will get that individual unstuck and motivated so that they start doing something that is going to change their world and maybe even eventually change the entire world through their actions, and they've done good and they changed lives, I believe that will create an incredible chain reaction where eventually we will be looking at a world that has more peace than war. We'll have a world that has less famine, less poverty, less harm, and less violence, because all of us has decided to have the motivation, to have the ability to actually just do our small part, and collectively we're going to be able to change everything the way the world is now and make it better for our future generations.
Spawning change. You're learning about people. You're a great listener, and you just make these small tweaks with them. You're a lot of things to me, but I think you might even shortchange yourself in this way. You are a great psychologist.
Yes, I'm not certified psychologist. I just want to make sure people don't think they'll get certification.
No, but you.
But on the level, yes, I do work with a lot of psychology in a sense. But I want to make sure that people fully understand my disclaimers so that they don't think they're seeking medical advice or psychological advice.
No, it's just in a way you're telling them about them through some just really great listening skills is really what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody with
Yeah.
Great ears.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so you get people unstuck, and I'm gonna try to get you unstuck a little bit with a game called What, Which, and Where. So people that have listened, and maybe you've listened as well, Luci, I'm not sure. It's a game called What, Which, and Where. And what I'm going to do is give you a line from maybe a book, a movie, popular speaker, and you just tell me where or who it came from. So are you ready?
I'm ready, and Yeah, I'll do the best that I can because I don't normally watch TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not a big TV watcher myself, but remember this is about you, so I think you'll do better than
Yeah.
maybe you think you're going to do. I'll give you quote number one. It goes like this: the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams.
Oh, that's Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey. Now she's had a big
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey.
big influence on you. What are some of the first
Yeah,
words that come to mind, Lucy, when you hear her name?
you can do it. You can do it. Yes, absolutely. The biggest thing that comes to my mind is I have hope that you can succeed with persistence and with due diligence, and you'll be able to make an impact on the world.
Now, is that partly through her work or knowing her story? Why have you become so inspired by Oprah Winfrey?
I'm inspired by her because she has, from her story for one, which I didn't know about her story until just, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And I love the way that she was able to take on a male-dominated field of media, and she was able to rise up to the top even when there was times that she goofed up, and she made the best of it, even when she was told that she couldn't, or she wouldn't, or she better not, that she shouldn't grow or get bigger or go someplace else. And just looking at what she's accomplished and how she's been able to inspire so many individuals, that it's actually become an epidemic.
Never listening to no, correct?
Never listening to what?
To the word no.
Correct.
I mean,
Yes. No just means I know I can do better. KNOW instead of NO.
oh wow, that's I like that. In my years I've never heard that. It's just learning from experience. I like that a lot.
Yes.
Hey, the proof's in the pudding. She has been around for a long time. I think I saw a clip from her recently from 1986. So we're talking 32 years in the public eye on television. So that's a long time through a lot of change. Okay, Lucy, you are 1 for 1 in what, which, and where.
Yes. Thank you.
And you've got 2 to go. I try to stir up like some nervous tension here, and it's just not needed. But anywho, I'll go to the next part of what, which, and where. It goes like this, Lucy. My darling girl, when are you going to realize that being normal is not necessarily a virtue?
Is that Albert Einstein?
It's not, but it's from one of your influences.
Hmm.
From a recent movie you may have watched.
Oh, it's from a recent movie that I have watched. That would be Practical Magic.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yes, that was a small part.
There we go. I'm getting you unstuck. So there it is.
Yes, you are definitely getting me unstuck.
Wonder-
I love this. This is fun.
Wonderful. You've in just 10 or 15 minutes, you've had that influence on me. What about the movie has made it one of your favorites in recent years?
So, one of my most favorite movies of all time is called Dangerous Beauty. It was based on the true story of Veronica Francisco, who was a poet in Venice, And she was able to get her books written at a time period when women weren't even supposed to be reading or writing. And that's one of my very favorite movies of all time.
And magic seems to be a running theme through your life, is it not?
Yes, magic is a running theme throughout my life. I do also love the Harry Potter movies too.
For sure. And here's the one thing about all of this. I mean, from your book and the movie itself and Harry Potter, they might be a lot about magic, but the people who made these things, it's come from a lot of elbow grease and time
Yeah.
and thinking through, because it's there's depth in magic, but there's even greater depth in the time that the people behind these works of art put them together.
That's true. Absolutely.
No question. So, working hard here on episode 36 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast, we have podcast host, speaker, and best-selling author on, Luci McMonagle. Luci, you are, well, let's call it 1 for 2 on what, which, and where, and we'll go to the last quote. Where did it come from? It goes like this. I've come to one conclusion, all of you lads. Your impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.
Could you repeat that again?
No problem. I've come to one conclusion, all of you lads. Your impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.
That's a good one.
I like it too.
Yes. And I'm not exactly sure who said that off the top of my head.
I think I know that you are exactly sure that you know where it came from. I'm positive of that.
Okay. So I would say it was either, I really like Einstein quotes, and I also like Till Swan quotes. But I would have to say that's probably neither one.
Is it close? Is it close to their ability levels?
It should be close to those ability levels, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because Lucy, I just quoted myself.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
No,
very close to those ability levels. Actually, I would take it a little bit higher.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I feel so much better. I do it all the time. This what, which, and where. On all of the episodes, I include something that I might have said. Just seeing if anybody is listening to previous episodes. But anyway, that's actually from my book of poetry, Letter Kindling. I stole it from a commencement speech that Jim Carrey did, and I included it in the poem called "The Greatest Currency You Can Have."
Yeah, and I believe I have that book. It's been a little while since I read it because you gave it to me, 3 years ago?
Yes, 2016. So we're nearing the end of 2018. So yeah, it's two years and change ago. But you've been working hard. The coolest thing about the book, I think, is not necessarily my writing, but the fact that you can open it up to anywhere in the book and read something read a poem or two, and maybe it strikes a chord, maybe it doesn't.
Yes, that's true. You're very inspirational to me, and I love your TED Talk and the fact that you're so powerful with teaching, and you bring a life to people who may not have that breath in that moment. And I love the way that inspiration just spreads like wildfire when you speak or you talk or in your TED Talk. I was just so impressed by your teachers that taught you to catch yourself with your hands. And I'm like, I wish I would have been taught that. That would have saved me from skinning my nose so many times when I was younger. if I would have been taught that one skill that you have. So I may practice that skill that you have.
Yes, but practice with caution. I'm telling you, if I didn't learn that early on, Lucy, I wouldn't have a face. I wouldn't have a face. But it's thinking about it. It's a really good metaphor for not only my life, but I think anyone's life in general. So thank you very much for the compliment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for being an inspiration for me and hundreds of thousands of individuals who listen to you.
I'm just going to keep on trucking, Lucy. That's all I can do.
Yes, me too.
That's all I can do. Awesome. Lucy, we're winding down here after what, which, and where. Outstanding. I'm going to have to give you a little extra credit because you did butter me up there at the end with a compliment. So 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 is not bad.
Still.
There's actually a song called 2 out of 3, I believe.
Oh yeah, really?
Mm-hmm. It's a love song.
And you're a love song fiend. So
Yes, I love love songs.
I love love songs. Sounds like a song to me, title in of itself. So I need to look that up. 2 out of 3.
Yep. But 2 out of 3 is not bad. I believe it's the name of the title. Don't quote me on that. But
We won't, but maybe that'll spawn us to look the title up. Lucy, to wind down here. Question or statement. To me, not all heroes wear a cape. But if you had a chance to take a 1-hour car ride with Teal Swan or Oprah or Albert Einstein, you can only choose one, who would you choose and why?
oh, that's a hard one. I love all of them. You know, I honestly think that I would love to take a car ride with Oprah Winfrey. If I was going to go for a car ride, because I'd want to know how she inspires the young women in Africa to get an education and do better and live their dreams. And I would like to understand what drives her passion so that she can do that. And that would be my why, is because I'd want to know how I can also help young people want to make the world a better place, starting with them.
Lucy, 2 things. I think you're already making the world a better place, and I really hope you get that opportunity one day to sit down and talk to Miss Oprah.
Yes, I believe we have a coffee date in the schedule, coming soon.
I like it. I like it. That's people dropping knowledge in that meeting. Oprah Winfrey and Luci McMonagle.
Yeah, that feels right. Absolutely.
Okay, Lucy. To wrap up here, we have two things I'd like for you to share. One is, how can people get in touch with you? Some ways, maybe social media, email, etc. And 2, who would you like to hear on an upcoming podcast?
All right, so the first one is you can get a hold of me on social media. You can look up my name. It's Luci. My last name is McMonagle.com. Or you can go to my website, lucimcmonagle.com, or you can look up my name on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and you'll find me. So, upcoming, who would I love to have on your show up and coming? I would have to say Robert Clancy would be a phenomenal person on your show. I absolutely feel that he would resonate well with your audience.
Tell us a little bit about Robert Clancy.
So Robert Clancy, he's multifaceted. He is very powerful. He has Spiral Share, which helps entrepreneurs get their messages out so that they can have affiliates. But he also writes this incredible, it's not poetry per se, but if you look up Robert Clancy on Facebook, he has Touches by Angels. That's not what he calls it. But he writes this incredible stuff. He's the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, and he is highly inspirational and very powerful in a lot of different aspects for creating change in the world.
We have to get him on. And thank you
Absolutely.
for the suggestion. Anything you can share on his behalf, I would greatly appreciate it.
And yeah, we will take that offline, and I will connect you two.
Luci, many thanks for that, and many thanks for this interview today. I know that people listening are better and more enlightened and inspired because of your words today. Thank you.
Thank you. Many blessings.
Okay, that will wrap up episode 36 of the What's Your Inspiration podcast. Luci and I will talk at you all later. Take good care.
You have been listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Fox Buyer. Because impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.